Hey guys. Okay, my highly anticipated, much requested tutorial for the Tilda Lollipops is finally here. Are you just like so excited? And also this is for Art Attack Supplies because this is where Art Attack Supplies is where I got my Tilda fabric. So I'll have a link below to Tracy's store so you can go get some of this gorgeous Tilda fabric. This is from the Corner Shop collection. These different fabrics, and I mean they're gorgeous, and it's just such good quality. It's amazing. Amazing. So yes, these are Tilda Lollipops because I am all things Tilda. Obviously you can use whatever fabric you want, but I am choosing to use Tilda fabric. So here we go. And thanks to Crouton Cracker Jacks for the initial video on these. So first you need a piece of fabric that is 3 inches by 7.5 inches. You need a circle, and I put 2 pieces of thick cardstock together that is 2 1/4 inches. You will need a lollipop stick, and get the shorter ones, you guys, because I didn't pay attention to the size, the length that I was getting. Unless you want the long ones, up to you. I'm just saying I wish I would have gotten the shorter ones, but I didn't pay attention, and then the next time I went back after I made my first lollipops, I did see that there were shorter ones. So you'll need a lollipop stick. You will need something for the middle of your lollipop. So I have these buttons that I have covered in Tilda fabric, and you will need a needle and thread. For the first part, you can do it on the sewing machine if you want. I'm just going to do it by hand. Let me grab a drink real quick. Okay, first thing you need to do is take a ruler and your glasses so you can see. And you need a marking utensil. Why does the thing always do that? I have no idea. A marking utensil. I'm going to use a pen because you don't see the mark. What you need to do initially, make sure I'm in frame here, is put a mark that is 1/4 inch wide-ish in the middle of your fabric. So obviously it's 3 inches, so the middle is 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to go on a little bit on each side of 1.5 inches. Okay? Now, let me make sure you can see this. Can you see that? Oh yeah. Okay? So that's the first thing you need to do. Then you're going to put your right sides together. And again, this is the part you can do on the sewing machine, or you can do it by hand, which is what I'm going to do because it's not that much. You're going to sew from along the whole side here, but don't sew in between these lines, okay? Because that's where your stick is going to go, your popsicle stick is going to go ultimately in when you're ready to put it on. So I'm just, now, the only reason I would do the sewing machine if you want to is if you don't want to, you're going to do about a 1/4 inch seam, but this is a part that needs to stay. So this isn't like a gathered stitch or anything, so you need to do relatively, on this part, relatively small stitches, because this is going to be the seam on your lollipop. So these stitches have to be somewhat small. And okay, I'm to that 1/4 inch spot. Now I'm going to just do a little back stitch here, just so it stays, and then I'm going to just jump right across to leave a space there. Okay. Again, you're doing a 1/4 inch-ish. I mean, if it's not quite a 1/4 inch, full 1/4 inch, that's fine, but that's kind of what you want, is a 1/4 inch seam. Again, not huge stitches. Be sure not to poke yourself, because during this part that can happen. I speak from experience. Again, you don't want this part gathered, you just want it to be together, because this is going to be your seam. Okay. Again, I'm going to do just a little back stitch here at the end. Oops, there we go. Again, I don't want it gathered, straighten it out. Do just a bit of a back stitch here to make sure it's being held in place. Oh, and I'm doing double thread here just because you just want it to be strong. And on the gathered part that we are going to do here in a second, you definitely want it your thread doubled. Unless you've got like a really strong like button thread or something like that, which I have somewhere, but this is just regular thread that I doubled. Okay, so there's your initial part. There's your mark, your 1/4 inch mark, and your seam. Okay, so now what you're going to do, and I just kind of finger press it. I don't really like feel the need to go to the sewing machine. You're going to kind of finger press it down and then try to open your seam. If you can't, don't worry about it. If you can, that's cool. Okay, so we've got that pressed open. Now you want to just fold one side. Oops, let me put a knot in my thread real quick so I'll be ready. Okay. Okay, you're going to fold, and again, this is a good time to have your fingers wet, damp. Fold it just maybe a 1/4 inch. Again, not even, you don't even have to have it totally a 1/4 inch. And you're going to do that all the way around. And again, kind of just finger pressing it in place. Okay? So then it's going to look like this all the way around. Okay? Now you're just going to do a running stitch around, and because this is going to be gathered. This is going to be the gathered parts of your lollipop. So just do a running stitch, not huge stitches, but you know, you guys know how to do a running stitch to gather. So that's all you have to do here. And I find it easiest just to stick my fingers in and kind of just, you know, hold it open and just go, use my thumb and pointer to just go back and forth and weave it through. Okay. So now you want to pull it, and this is another reason you want it, you know, double thread or really strong, because you need to pull it pretty tight here. And you don't want it to break after everything you've just done. And then once you get it tight, you're just going to do some secure stitches so that it doesn't go anywhere. My fingers are so slippery. There we go. Okay, one more. Okay, so that side's done. So now you're going to turn it inside out. Okay, so there's where you just gathered. Okay, so now we need to do the same thing on this side, but we're going to fold it in a 1/4 of an inch. So, fingers wet again, fold it down so you can finger crease it. And I try to go to the opposite side so that I can just maybe pull it and it'll fold over. And then, oh, come on. Okay. And then just, again, go around. It's not working so well, guys. And I don't want to wreck it, so just go around and finger press it all around that 1/4 of an inch. Because again, we have to sew it to gather it. Okay, so you can get it started and then stick your circle in, this circle, which is probably the way to go. Oops. Okay. So you want to put your knot, be sure to put your knot on the inside. Trim this off. Okay. Then just start again, going around to do your running stitch so that you can ultimately gather it. And I know this is the boring part, you guys, but okay, got it started a little bit. Now, I'm going to take my circle and put it inside. And you kind of want to make sure that it's centered, because ultimately your stick has to go through your hole. So, oh, that sounded kind of bad, didn't it? Yikes. Your popsicle stick needs to go through. So you have to look inside at this point and find your mark. And that's why I said it doesn't matter what you use, because number one, you want to be able to see it, and number two, it's not going to be seen. Okay, I found where my marks are. So then you kind of just have to put the popsicle stick against it, and then see, it just pops right in. Okay? Now, being as that I got the long ones, I'm going to put mine almost all the way to the top of my circle. Okay? And then kind of put it where you think it is in the middle, where you think, okay, yeah, that's the middle. Hold it there and turn it around just to see if it looks right. And that, to me, does. So then, oh, I didn't turn my, yikes, I didn't turn my hot glue gun on, guys. Okay, I'm just going to use this. I'm going to use my Helmar's 450. Okay, so then you just put a line. Again, if you use hot glue, it will dry right away. So I'm just going to hold this for a second. So that it dries. I just turned my hot glue gun on, so it won't be ready, but it'll be ready for the buttons. Okay, I'm going to hope that stays while I finish this. Then you're just going to finish your running stitch around, okay? Again, hopefully you turned on your hot glue gun and then we know your stick will stay. Okay. Trying to stay in shot, you guys. Alright, so when you come to the end here, you're going to just gather pull tight. Again, that's why we double it, because we don't want it to break. And then just do some locking stitches again. Sorry if I'm out of frame, guys, but I need to see what I'm doing. Okay. So there is, and you can kind of move because you haven't glued the fabric. The only thing that's really holding the fabric in one spot is here. So you can kind of adjust how you need, if you need. Okay, so there's that. You have basically the lollipop. So then you're going to take whatever you're using for the center, and I don't know if my glue gun is heated up yet. Then you're just going to glue whatever you're using into the center. I mean, and this can be whatever. This could be regular buttons. This could be the flat back pearls like I used on my other one. This could be these fabric. Anything you want to use as the center, you can. It's totally up to you.